Hey everyone, Emar here, Canada, land of maple syrup, politeness and universal healthcare. What could possibly go wrong? Well, buckle up, because today we're diving headfirst into the icy, maple syrup-filled reality of why moving to Canada might not be the dream you think it is. It's a beautiful country with a lot to offer, but it's also a country with its own unique set of challenges, often glossed over in those idyllic tourism brochures. So, before you trade in your current life for a chance to wear a toque, unironically, let's take a hard look at some of the harsh realities of living in the Great White North. Let's talk about the elephant in the room, the cost of living in Canada. The cost of living in major Canadian cities is enough to make even the most seasoned economist weep into their poutine. We're talking about rent that seems to increase exponentially, grocery bills that make you question if they're charging you extra for the politeness of the cashier, and housing prices that could buy you a small island. Even smaller towns are feeling the pinch. The cost of living in Canada is like a runaway moose, unpredictable and uncontrollable. So, if you're coming from a place where your money goes a little further, be prepared for a serious case of sticker shock. Alright, let's talk about the weather, because Canada is basically synonymous with winter. And I'm not talking about that cute Hallmark movie kind of winter. I'm talking about the kind of winter that freezes your eyelashes together and makes you question your life choices. We're talking about months of sub-zero temperatures, blizzards, and a constant battle against the elements just to leave your house. Even the most expensive parka can't protect you from the soul-crushing darkness of a Canadian winter. So if you're someone who enjoys basking in the warmth of the sun, be prepared to invest in a very good sad lamp and maybe a therapist. Okay, let's talk jobs. While Canada might have a reputation for being a welcoming country, the job market can be a different story. Especially if you're coming from a different country and have experience in a specialized field, be prepared to jump through more hoops than a circus poodle. First, there's the whole issue of Canadian experience. It's like a secret handshake that only those who have worked in Canada seem to know. Then there's the credential recognition process, which can be like navigating a bureaucratic labyrinth. So, if you're thinking of moving to Canada for work, be prepared to be patient, persistent, and maybe a little bit lucky. Now let's talk about healthcare, because it's one of the things Canada is most known for. And yes, it's true, healthcare in Canada is publicly funded, which means you don't have to worry about going bankrupt if you break a leg or catch a cold. But while healthcare in Canada might be free, it's not exactly fast. Be prepared to wait for even the most basic medical procedures. Need to see a specialist? Better book that appointment 6 months in advance. So yes, healthcare in Canada is free, but it's a trade-off. You might not have to pay out of pocket for medical expenses, but you'll be paying with your time and patience. Finally, let's talk about cultural and social adjustment. Because moving to a new country is more than just packing your bags and learning a few new slang words. It's about adapting to a new way of life, a new set of social norms, and a new way of looking at the world. Canadians are notoriously polite, which is great if you like passive-aggressive apologies and people holding doors open for you from a block away. But it can also be a bit confusing if you're not used to reading between the lines. So if you're moving to Canada, be prepared to embrace the cold, learn the lingo, and develop a taste for Tim Hortons coffee. So, there you have it. The good, the bad, and the downright chilly reality of living in Canada. Canada is a lot like that friend we all have who's a bit rough around the edges, maybe a little too obsessed with hockey, and has a tendency to talk about the weather incessantly. So, should you move to Canada? Ultimately, the decision is yours. But hopefully this video has given you a more realistic perspective on what to expect.